Hello, everybody. Welcome to our brand new podcast. I am the host, Drew in the Mask. I am joined here with Legend VG. Say hi, Legend.
Hello, how's it going, everyone? Hope you're all doing well.
You can catch us both on Twitch as well. Legend underscore VG and myself, same as this YouTube name, Drew in the Mask. So, today's topics. I'll just start off with some quick minor ones, just to get them out of the way. Ford has released their new electric vehicle, or is going to release it very soon, based on the Explorer SUV, but has nothing to do with the SUV from before, as in the petrol version or diesel version. There's a expected range of 300 miles. It seems to be a lot smaller than the old SUV. I'm trying to find the picture of the LED radio, which just basically looks like an Android tablet.
Does this car come with... Because I know a lot of cars are now pushing for the smart windscreens. Does it have one of those?
I think it has smart everything. They're really pushing it for this one. Smart road safety and everything. Like, it can detect... Because it's like a four-wheel drive, but it's not, because it's electric.
Right.
So it has sensors on all the wheels to measure the terrain. Obviously, it's like the old Explorer, where it's meant to be cross-country and, over grass and hills and stuff. But just the electric version. And it's going to cost...
I can see the display on the inside. The display looks very nice.
Yeah, the Android full touchscreen. No buttons at all. No actual physical buttons. It's all on the screen.
Which is... I find it interesting because it's... For, driving and, the police force, there's a big push for people to keep their eyes on the road. So, by adding tablets into cars, it contradicts that statement, I find.
Yeah. There's no guidelines for prices yet, just estimations. I reckon it's going to be about 60. 60k, I reckon, for this.
And that's taking into account that it's probably going to be made somewhere else and imported, and then you have to think about the rising cost of living crisis as well.
Yeah. So, one, they probably won't make as many as they would have liked.
I think
this is going to be early 2024.
Very much look to test run it first.
Yeah. I can't find anything about the charging time, because that's normally a crucial thing, especially now with
that is the important thing.
Yeah, the new speed charge is now doing 50. I think it's even more than 50 kilowatt now chargers.
So, I mean, we can take that and base it off of that, because the battery size is expected to be about 55. It's going to have two different sizes, 55 and 80 kilowatts. So it probably take an hour or hour and a half to charge
on a fast charger. Yeah.
Yeah, on a good charger, that will help. Otherwise, it'd probably be
in a wall socket about 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Moving on. Right. Now we can go on to the main event, Resident Evil 4. Now, this is now going to be in third person, unlike the original, which was first person, if I remember rightly, from the GameCube days of 2005. And there's going to be some extra missions, just like all the other Resident Evil remakes.
That's good to know.
Yes.
So it seems like that Capcom have really found their stride with these remakes now, because some of them have been a bit shaky, but now I feel like they really know what they're doing with them, and it's really good to see that they're bringing these old titles back for newer audiences to enjoy.
Yeah. I was watching the trailer earlier just to recap myself, and it does look a lot better, because a lot of people were saying it's a bit too soon, maybe, because it's going to have those PS2 graphics, but it was first person. You get the horror impact the same, but because they've done it in third person like the previous two remakes.
But that's the thing. I feel like
it's completely different gameplay.
We've had Resident Evil 7, 8, which are both first person, new audience, new game style. And lots of people really like them. And then for 8, they also added a third-person mode. And I think now that the younger audiences experience this third-person mode, they're going to be more happy to replay the classics.
Yeah, they can catch up now because they don't have to wait, years.
Yeah.
They don't have to be with it for years to play them.
And that's the thing, the remakes are selling well, and if they're selling well, then they've got no reason not to keep making the remakes.
Yeah, exactly. This is like the start of Village as well, because this is all the creepy monsters rather than just zombies.
Yeah, it's very similar because it's you said, it's around the villagers.
Yeah, the trailer had these two massive trolls with like clubs.
Yeah. Is 4 the one that has that really annoying mission with one of the girls? I can't remember, but you have to like protect them, don't you? It's like an escort mission.
Yes.
Is it this one that's the infamous escort mission?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
this is the one that everyone liked the least out of the Resident Evil series, probably because it took a whole turn, moving away from the zombie side of it into more of a general fantasy monster side of it. And then you had the escort mission thing. And you only play as Leon.
Yes. Because this one has Leon and Rebecca.
Is it Rebecca?
Is that right?
I don't think you get to play as Rebecca in this.
No, you don't get to play with her, but I think she's part of the escort mission.
I don't think I even saw her in the trailer at all. Definitely would have recognised her off the bat.
Good evening, gents.
Oh, hello. Oh, you made it.
Okay.
AdSea, everybody. I thought you were going to be at your sister's until late.
Because we went to the shops, we didn't make it to the sisters.
Oh.
We literally just came back.
Yeah. We only just started on the main part of the podcast anyway. We've done all the minor stuff. We said about the new pop vinyls that are coming out and the new Ford electric vehicle. But now we're on to Resident Evil 4 Remake that comes out on Friday. Don't know if you'll be playing it.
I haven't played any of them, to be fair.
Yeah, okay.
I haven't played a lot of games, but, well, I mean, I played some.
Yeah. I was saying to
I'm
Legend...
a big fan of the newer Resident Evils, but like the older ones, not so much. But that's purely because of the style that they're set in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, if you like playing when your view is locked in, then yeah. But if you don't like playing...
Yeah, I don't like that isometric point of view that they go for. I like to be able to move my camera or have camera angles that I want rather than the set camera angles.
Was it the first and second game? They were in fixed positions in rooms.
Yeah, and it was awful for when you were trying to aim and stuff like that.
Yeah. Although, what was it? Gears of War 1 was like that, so you can't really argue.
That's true. And Gears of War is a franchise that I do love.
I do too. Just not the fourth one. Actually, isn't it weird that the fourth one of all these sort of Japanese franchises are the worst?
I mean...
There definitely is a trend.
They might not be trying as much.
Yeah, I'm glad they've changed this enough to be a lot more likable than the original.
Hey, but look at this point, right? The first 3 are amazing. In like compared to anything that West pops out. When the West pops something out, it's like the very first 3 is shit. So I think it's a win.
Yeah. Let's just hope it carries through, because to be fair, going through the trailer, if it's like the original Resident Evil 4, we shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, and plus, Capcom have been very good at upholding their quality as well on the remakes.
And there's a lot of extra stuff involved as well. Better quality of life stuff and extra missions. So it's all fleshed out. Definitely worth the price of it.
And what's the price? Like, what it comes to?
I'm trying to remember, is it like 40? It's going to be £40 here, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's about 40, so not as much as a brand new
tell
game,
a lie.
but about the right price for a remake.
55 for PC. That might be all of them as well, actually. PS4, PS5, Xbox Series S and X. Not doing it for the old Xbox.
Interesting. Yeah, so this game are doing it for £60, Very doing it for about 55, same as HMV. So I think 55 is about the right price range.
Amazon will probably do it for a £5 cheaper. They always do.
Yeah, and that's the thing. After release week, after the hype, it will go down in price. So do keep that in mind.
Unless you go Tesco's when it goes up another £10, because I don't know why they do that. They just do it.
So
that
They
I've
do it with
noticed that
DVDs
normally
as well.
it normally depends on how many units are sold and how well received it is. They'll either up or down the price.
Papa Tesco tax.
First week release tax. You should have got it a week earlier, so we're putting the price up to punish you.
No surprise there.
No.
I do find it interesting though, like if they're meeting their sales targets, why do they feel the need to up the price? They should lower it, but they do it the other way around for some reason, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
Supply and demand. If there is a lot of demand, they're just gonna increase it.
At least they're not as bad as
Because
curries.
I
They just
know,
stay high.
Well, I don't know. It's more of a. I had a read on about shops themselves scalping people for stuff.
Mainly on
Instead
Prime
of,
Energy.
Yeah, basically. But like, I mean, instead of letting other people, scalpers, to get to the products, they basically price up everything themselves. And no surprise, like, I mean, what kind of company would go and lose on all that profit?
So
If people are going to buy it, which they do, I do see them flying off the shelves even when they put the prices up from the first week.
yeah,
They will just buy
it's
them.
that if you're gonna buy it, you're gonna buy it. It's that type of philosophy, isn't it? If you want it,
Yeah.
you're gonna go and get it.
Yeah.
Regardless of how much it is.
I mean, best example is NVIDIA cards, graphics cards.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look at the price. Look at the price of. Look at the compare the prices before, like let's say 2010 or something, 2015 even, and look at the prices right now.
Okay.
Even if you put,
yeah.
even if you put, fair enough, like the increase in prices each year, you would still be like far off of what it's supposed to be.
Another good example I like is, do you remember like old Nintendo with their seal of quality, and their philosophy was more or less, we know we make good games, so we know if you want to play it, you're going to pay full price. Because before the Switch, how often were Nintendo games on sale?
Yeah.
Pretty much never, right?
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, it's because of that seal of quality.
There's still, I mean, grabbing the money. Especially on
I mean, ever since the Switch has come out, I think Nintendo's turned to more scummier practices, but alongside that, I also feel like they've lost their seal of quality, and we do see more Nintendo games on sale than we used to. So, who knows what's happening in Nintendo's brain?
The demand just fell, so they don't have other options really. If they don't do the sales, they will lose a lot.
Yeah, I think Nintendo are competing in a market that they can't compete in, because you look at the PS5 and the Series X and you see the games that they get, and then you look at Nintendo and see the games that they get, and there's such a vast difference in what they're able to do because of hardware limitations.
Yeah.
Okay. So in other news, Respawn opens third studio to keep Apex Legends going for 10 to 15 years. And they're getting rid of the mobile version.
Wait, so...
I don't think they opened a third studio. I think they just got the team from the mobile and just added it to the current Apex on
it's
PC
more
and
than likely
console.
they closed the mobile studio and moved them into a new studio name.
Yeah.
Just basically renamed the studio.
Yeah, they basically announced
10
this.
to 15 years, though. 10
Yeah.
to 15 years. It's ambitious, but it's doable, because, like, how old is CSGO now?
Oh, God, don't.
Don't go there.
Mid-2000s.
Yeah, so, I mean, to be fair, CSGO is going through major changes, because they're they're coming up with CS:GO 2, aren't they?
Oh god, are they? I thought that was already a thing.
Yeah. So CS:GO 2 is going to be like their massive, big overhaul thing. Like some of the stuff that they're introducing is unheard of, amazing. So tick rates, we know about tick rates, right?
Yes.
Yep. So their tick rates are going to add sub tick rates. So now the tick rates don't even matter. Everything should be seamless, which is like again unheard of. And with the smoke as well, shooting through the smoke or throwing a grenade at it can disrupt the smoke. Which again,
So,
what games have done that? None.
environmental dynamics.
Yeah, but
which,
these are.
yeah, well,
I mean,
this would be, well, this is possible basically with the, god damn it, I forgot what it's called. Where is it? I have it on the screen as well. Where's that?
but
damn
you look at other games with environmental dynamics like Rainbow Six Siege, and they haven't come anywhere close to what CS:GO 2 is trying to present.
Here,
But again, we won't know until we see the execution.
Unreal Engine 5. It's the game changer for all the games at the moment, and everyone's rushing to.
Yeah,
up.
so a lot of people are trying to swap over to Unreal 5 because of how, it's leaps and bounds better than Unreal 4.
Yeah.
But it all
Just
depends
any
on how the
gaming-
companies choose to utilize them. Yeah.
Yeah, just any gaming engine. Because I think it even beats CryEngine now.
I think Unreal Engine beat every other engine's past fourth version. If I remember correctly, like it was some kind of news around floating.
I think the only CryEngine game that I've ever played is Hunt Showdown.
Bloody Hunt Showdown. That zombie game with cowboys.
Yeah, that's the one. Basically, old western Tarkov.
Right. I've seen streams of it. I've never played it myself. Love the theme
It's a
tune.
fun game, but it does have the same issue as most online multiplayer games, and that's squads versus solos.
So hopefully, I don't know, because if Apex, big as it is, it's still number one on Twitch at the moment, isn't it, for games?
Yes, it is. It is the number one game on Twitch at the moment.
They're not being
And I
overly
think it will
ambitious,
hold
I
that
don't
position
think.
for a while.
They're not being overly ambitious at all, I don't think. 10 years, definitely.
I mean, CS:GO and League have been around 10 plus years.
Yeah.
Same as Dota 2. Stuff like Fortnite, Apex Legends, Warzone, they'll all do it no problem as well. I can almost guarantee it, because they are genre definers. And
It's
people tend
also-
to stick with genre definers.
It's also only semi-realistic as well. They're slightly cartoony, but slightly realistic, so it may stand the test of time in graphics as well.
Of all the Battle Royale games, I have to say Apex Legends is my favourite one of all the ones that I've tried.
I'm
Have
still
you
waiting.
tried Heroes of the Storm?
I've heard of that. Which one's that one again?
That's the mobile game, isn't it?
Yeah,
Blizzard's,
MOBA. I mean,
Blizzard's MOBA, yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
oh,
Phones off during work, please.
no, you can't make me. I'm in the attic now. I have the ground. I ground. You can't make me.
AdSea lives in my attic, for those of you who don't know. I moved him from the basement to the attic as an upgrade because because of the vitamin D deficiency. It was costing me a fortune in vitamin D tablets.
I was a big help. That's why I was moved. and I was a bit getting annoying to him in the basement.
Yeah, no. He kept brewing alcohol in the basement.
Fumes and stuff.
Yeah. He's still doing it now. He's got mead on the way. Which he's going to have to share with me.
I don't know if I don't get drunk first.
I bought a bottle of mead the other day. I showed you, didn't I? I said I'm
Yeah.
going to have this until yours is ready. Oh. So that subject that I have, because I know Legend's got some, and AdSea probably has a couple. What are our thoughts on the impact of the new PSVR 2 as it is now a whole month since it's been released.
The who?
I think it's groundbreaking. Like
The PS virtual
PSVR
reality,
2 it's currently the leading VR, I think,
Yeah.
in terms of the capabilities.
which is
Easily.
weird because I can't use it with my PC.
Yeah, I'm surprised that PlayStation haven't tried to make a deal with Microsoft, Steam, etc. for compatibility.
They're not going to do it with
but,
Microsoft. Are you mad? Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, I think, PlayStation has always been around that area of we want to keep exclusive stuff exclusive with a few PC ports like a year later. So maybe in the future we could see PSVR 2 being used for PC, but I think it's very unlikely that they'll do that.
I wouldn't put it that way, because the gamers, they will find a way, like life finds a way.
That's true. You can you
Yeah.
can mod games. You've
Yeah.
seen people play Rainbow Six Siege with their Wii controllers and stuff like that.
I've
Anything's possible.
seen people play with fruit. Rainbow Six Siege. Well, there is a guy who plays with all sorts of stuff. But more onto VR. To be perfectly clear, like there are a lot more, probably better things out there, which is not commercialized as PSVR.
I think with VR, I still feel like VR is very much in its infancy.
Oh yeah.
It's gotten better for sure, but I still don't think it's at that point where you must go out and buy a VR headset.
There's actually been a decline in VR technology. What do you call it? Development. Like to the point where Japan has just gone down to 10% of what it was before in development, which is Sony.
But
Yeah.
it's not a decline, more of a stagnation.
Yeah, it will pick
I
up
think-
again, especially after this.
Because
It's had such a huge impact of how powerful this VR is, even though it cost basically the same as a PS5. You're paying for a PS5 again.
I think as soon as we get our first big VR online competitive game, it will take off because people will be interested in that. They'll want to play it. They'll want to watch it.
Yeah, there's not much in the way of games.
But
I don't
until
think.
then, we won't have that big explosion in the VR universe.
No. This might be really good if it's compatible with Resident Evil. I'd love to see Resident Evil VR, like a first-person mode, but you can only unlock it if you have the VR. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why that's not possible. So
Yeah, even if it's just a special mission that you can do with the VR headset, like DLC, you can download with it.
You buy.
I'm stretching
the
now,
whole
but-
headset for like £1,000 just to play.
Yeah,
an
it's like
extra-
£550, which is the same as the PS5.
just to play an extra room. in the
Yeah.
game.
Just to play an extra mission.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, hardcore gamers would go for it.
Yeah, I want to see some space games. I want to be sitting in my chair with the VR headset on, with a flight stick, and just go around. Destroying
Elite
aliens.
Dangerous VR?
They did. Did they have a VR mode?
I'm pretty sure Elite Dangerous had a VR.
I thought that was Star
I could be
Citizen.
wrong.
I mean,
No, I don't think it's Star Citizen. I'm not too sure, but I know that there is.
The one of those space games
Some
does
sort
have
of
it.
space
Oh no, it's that
Yeah.
Star Wars thing, isn't it? The Squadron thing.
What, Squadrons? I don't think so.
They
Let me
had
check.
VR. Yeah,
Elite Dangerous is on VR.
yeah. That's the one
Oh,
I
so it is
remember is the
Elite
Star
Dangerous,
Wars
yeah.
Squadrons. Because
Yeah,
that
so
had
the one I'm thinking of is Elite Dangerous, because Elite Dangerous was part of the tech demo for when VR first started becoming a thing.
right. That makes sense. Because it's an already established game, and it has the ability to just be able to be in first person anyway. Just add the VR headset, and you can see a bit more. It just controls the camera.
Yeah.
All you got to do is make sure the Xbox controller is nestled in your hands properly, so when you drop it, you're not, looking for it through a visor.
Yeah, I actually know one of the devs over at the studio that worked on.
Of course you do. You
Dangerous,
know a lot
they
of
said-
developers.
They did say it was a pain to make, and
Yes.
wasn't worth the time or money.
Wasn't it? Really?
Apparently not. No.
It helped. It
But
helped
to
the
be
VR
fair-
industry though.
it definitely helped the VR industry because it showed, oh, we can put a space game into VR and it can look good and function well. But yeah, other than that, it's not their proudest work apparently.
Oh, that's a shame because I thought it went really well.
I mean, I like the game very much.
I think if we didn't have that VR, we wouldn't have had Star Wars Squadrons. Because
Probably not.
they probably just copy and
Because-
pasted a lot of the visuals of it. Because it does feel
Yeah, and then just
the same sort of
fine-tuned
thing.
it a bit.
Yeah. So that's all the news I've got. Do you want to add to it, Legend? You have some DBD news?
Oh yeah, DBD news. We've had the Skull Merchant out for a while. Today there was a major update to the Skull Merchant, improving the powers. I have not had the chance to test it yet. However, I would love to know people's thoughts on the changes, if they are good, if they are bad. There's also talk of the DDoS incidents that are happening on DBD.
Oh yes, I heard about those.
Not amazing. The devs can fix this. That's fine.
I've been lucky.
Spooks and Jukes actually released a video talking about DBD is dying. DBD is not dying. It's not going anywhere ever, I don't think. However, the main issue with the game is the community, and that is an issue that cannot be fixed, and everyone seems to be in mutual agreement about that.
No, the biggest problem they had was killers leaving just because it was too stressful with the new with the purge that happened a few months ago.
Yeah, so we've had an influx in killers leaving.
Yeah, that started about 4 months ago.
Very strong place at the moment. I was
Yeah.
actually watching a match earlier, and a team did 4 gens in about 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Games are meant to last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So
normally a match
I think
with me is normally about 15 minutes. That's what I allow myself for
Yeah.
anyway.
I think the issue with Dead by Daylight, it's always going to be survivor-sided in the sense that every match is 4 against 1. So that means the community is constantly going to be 4 against 1. There's always going to be more playing one side than the other side. And, you know, from a developer's perspective, you have to appeal to the majority of the audience.
Yeah. I did watch.
And I think that's where the issue lies.
I did watch a tournament game, and the rules there made it so it was evenly played, and I don't know why the devs just don't take this into account and implement it. But I think because they're so strict, the rules were so strict that they have to change so much it wouldn't be the same game anymore.
I don't think it would have to change. All you need is a clearly defined ranked and unranked playlist. And I think that would be fine.
Guys.
I mean, look at Destiny 2. They have like 100 different playlists, and people still play the game. You know, so I think adding 1 extra playlist to Dead by Daylight would be fine.
Yeah, kind of like Overwatch. They have the ranked and unranked bits.
Yeah,
and
but
I never play ranked in Overwatch because it's all over the place. You either have a really bad team that you get thrown in, or a really good team that just carries you, and you just sit there. It's like, well, I might do. Is there a reason why I'm here?
So, Overwatch and Siege have the same issue. Every match you queue into is a squad queue match. There is no solo duo queue, and you know, solo duo queue would solve so many problems. And I don't know why certain games don't implement it.
Any thoughts, AdSea?
Not really. Not really.
You haven't played Dead by Daylight in a while, have you?
Yeah.
Not since
well, we did play,
with Carl. That was just to train Carl up.
But then, I'm quite washed. Player for the DVD.
We're all washed.
But I mean, for Overwatch, Blizzard's Overwatch, I would say it was perfectly fine with the 6-player base. Well, six teammates.
I don't know, because it was the extra tank which made games forever long. Because you had 2 tanks there would just soak up damage.
Yeah.
I much prefer the 5-player. You know, now that it's 5 players, because everything each player does feels so much more influential in the game.
Yes, but it was easier for the teams to make, or not make, more like create games, create plays in the game. Much easier, because you had a higher flexibility. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
one
Yeah.
time.
That's what I think
So,
was the big problem,
kind
though,
of
because
like
you end up
a-
with a bit of stalemate, especially with the new robot mode. You'll be there with the robot just standing there. Think I should be pushing something right now. And he wouldn't move
Yeah.
because you had had 2 tanks there just standing by him while you
issue-
had healers on them.
The issue with old Overwatch is it just became a standoff of shields, and it was very boring to watch, very boring to play. 5v5 is a lot better. All they need to do now is add solo duo queue, and it'll be perfect. Because the only way to go up in ranked is to play as a squad, in my opinion.
Yeah. In my opinion, they could have just stayed with Overwatch 1, just removed one tank.
It is basically Overwatch Chapter 2. It's not Overwatch 2 at all.
It is exactly the same game,
Yeah.
except you don't have like what's it called, life.
Epic Games said this and said,
It's like game quality, no, life qualities like Overwatch 1 had,
yeah.
or not all of them yet. Still.
Yeah, Epic Games did like a tweet or some sort of post saying, I don't know why Overwatch just made a whole new game, because we just call that a new chapter, which is of course their Fortnite Chapter 2 and Chapter 3 now, whatever chapter they're on.
Yeah, exactly. And the game is, well, still being developed, right? Because the game still doesn't have the PvE option.
Have you not seen what
Yeah.
Stylosis said about this game?
Oh, hello.
I didn't think you'd spotted me. I was sitting there waiting
No.
to actually say something.
My
I
blip's not
did
working.
say. I
Oh,
said.
okay,
no,
I didn't hear you. I apologise. But have you not seen what Stylosis said about this? Because he's obviously one of the most prominent Overwatch YouTubers.
Sophie Slaughter, everyone.
No, I'm not Sophie Slaughter anymore.
Oh no, you've rebranded. I forgot. You're SweetieSophie. Is it
Yeah,
SweetieSophie?
that's what I am now.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, he said his take is basically it's Overwatch 2.0. So
Yep.
it's like, well, obviously I don't know how much of a discussion I'm going to get into talk about Genshin, but you know it changes slightly based on every update. So they were reaching a point where they were like, well, there's not really much we can do with it, so we're just going to slightly update it.
Yes, but
Yeah.
the issue
It's
there-
that sort of live service model where they do the live service, small updates, and then when they hit sort of a wall or the player the player count starts dropping, they'll be like, we're going to push this major 2.0 update to bring everyone back in, and then they'll carry on with the smaller updates again.
yes.
Yeah,
Right.
they want more players.
Like every game, really. And I mean, all they did was when they had stupidly, I would say, announced Overwatch 2. They didn't had any kind of plan or game set.
They
Yeah,
made a lot of
that's-
promises that they did not deliver on. That's where the issue lies.
Yep. And
Pretty
it's
much what
a-
happened with 2070. Well, Cyberpunk, isn't it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cyberpunk was meant to be this genre-defining RPG, and then it came out and it was awful. I would rather be playing Oblivion.
Whoa.
There are lots of games recently that have come out that way, where they've just, because the hype has been so incredibly big, that they've been forced to push them forward because the public doesn't want to wait
yeah.
anymore.
I think there's that timescale pressure and the pressure of these AAA studios because it's such a big business now, gaming, and you know and with like everything being connected to the internet, they don't care if the product's finished when they release it because they can just drop a patch.
Yes.
And you know, I remember when we used to get games and they were finished games, you know, and I miss those days because now they just release it
Oh,
in any
man.
status to meet a deadline, and then they'll just fix it with an update instead of
Yeah.
actually
Yeah,
caring
patches.
about the game.
Everything's patches.
You used to buy a game and you have like 15 CD discs.
Or when you buy a game and you
Those
just
games
didn't connect to the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that's
didn't
the thing.
need to. You could just
We-
play it out of the box.
I still go back to my PlayStation 2 and play PlayStation 2 games because those are good games. You look at some of the games that have released recently, like Battlefield 2042, the new Saints Row game. They're incomplete games.
I said
but
this
they're
about the
releasing
new
incomplete.
Pokemon Diamond and Pearl game because there was a patch on the day one release, and I thought, why? Why is this necessary? You
Yeah.
should have finished it and then released it. Why does there have to be a
It's
patch
because
on day
people,
one?
They push for the fourth quarter release. They push for holiday release because
Yeah.
they're going to make the most money because people are going to buy it as Christmas presents.
That's the
That's
thing.
why obviously
It's
put into the
industry
story.
greed. That's what it's turned into. Rather than quality, it's turned into industry greed.
And also, the people responsible for the deadlines aren't the devs and creators. It's the people that are sitting above them that don't.
Yeah,
do
it's the
anything.
publishers. So
So
for Cyberpunk, the
basically,
issue was. Oh, sorry, AdSea, you carry on.
well, no, go on, go on.
Okay, so I was just going to say, with Cyberpunk, obviously CD Projekt Red are the developers. They're still great developers. They were overseen. Was it Bandai Namco that were overseeing it? And they were like, they basically said, you have to release the game now, or else we're going to drop you.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's the issue at the modern times, you could say. Like, developers are being pushed to press more and
still
more.
go against what they said. They said it'll be ready when the game's finished.
Yeah.
You know.
But then, well, at least they haven't just dropped it off like first week. Like, you know, they did updates, they did everything they could.
That's the game now. Put up with the T-poses and everything.
Which is nice. They did
See,
go
this is
back
why
and fix
I-
it, which is nice.
Oh no, go on.
Go on. Which
Oh,
one?
I was gonna say this is why I like the only game I ever want to talk about. This is why I like Genshin Impact so much, because I can't fault it, because they do an update like relatively often, and they're scheduled, like very scheduled as well.
Yeah, it's not patches; it's just proper update. You know, building on the game that's
they
already
have like
there.
slight patches and stuff, but they get fixed. So there's certain ones, you know, where like.
But nothing's crazy bad with that game.
No, see the main things that pop up. We're currently on phase 2 of the 3.5 banner, and at the start of 3.5, Daya was released, and one of her like animations was a little bit off, and that was like the main thing. Although people weren't happy with her kit and her gameplay as a character, but
All right, I'm gonna
there's little
disappear.
animations.
Yeah, you've
You
got a
will
visitor
have a
coming,
rest.
so
Yeah, no
you go,
problem.
legend.
See you later.
Yeah, have a good one, man.
Nice to meet you. I bore people to death with Genshin.
Yeah, carry on.
But yeah, like they just fixed it. They posted it. It's not MiHoYo anymore. It's HoYoverse. They just fix it straight away. Like they listen to people's concerns, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll sort that out for you. Don't worry. Here, have some primo gems as a reward for us
Putting up with this
screwing up."
minor inconvenience.
Yeah, and as well, whenever they do a major update, they give you, what is it? I think because they're usually down for like 2 or 3 hours, they give you 600 primo gems, which is 160 for a wish. So it's like 4. Is it 4 wishes? Excuse me. So they give you a few free wishes and stuff for the downtime, and you're usually asleep when that happens. But
Depends where you are in the world.
Yeah, but it's been consistently good. I wanted Ayaka. I would really, really like Ayaka. But again, if I do wish for her, it's going to be 50-50. But I want the next banner. So 3.6, you've got a character that's finally going to be playable after 2 years of being in the game. And that's it's Baiju. He's from Liyue, and he's like a Dendro character. He's got a snake around his neck. But he's like another, he's another Dendro character, and he's another shield as well. And you've got Kave as well too, who's from Sumeru, and he looks absolutely insane. He's a Claymore user, but he's 4-star, and I want both of them. Like I desperately want both of them. So I'm thinking I might just skip the rest of this banner and keep saving and saving.
Yeah,
because I really, really want.
Always go for the better
really,
character if you want the other one more.
I have no idea what he's going to be like. That's the thing. So we don't know what character's going to be like until they release. Like I got Daya relatively early, and people don't like her. They do not like her playstyle at all. Like her burst, like so that if you're going to akin it to Overwatch. Her burst is basically she goes into a state where she starts punching, and it has like an auto target, which is really frustrating. If you jump, it just automatically takes her out of her burst. she's not as strong as everyone expected her to be. Like, her character is a mercenary, and she's meant to be very, very strong. But she's just really not that powerful. You have to have her at high HP, so certain skills are based on a character's, max HP, max attack, max defense, things like that. But yeah, she just doesn't play the way characters were expecting her to. So that's a little bit frustrating because I got her. I didn't get a signature weapon, which is a bit annoying, but I don't mind. I had another good 5-star claymore, and so I've given her that. But yeah, she does some damage, but she's just not as powerful as I would have expected her to be. I mean, that's the extent. Well, I have more Genshin knowledge, but I don't really want to sit and bore you with it all, to be honest, because neither of you play it.
It's for the audience. But
yeah, I suppose if they're interested in Genshin, they're interested in Genshin, so you'll have to obviously see what they say. But yeah, we're still waiting on a bit more information on what's happening with Tainari's voice actor, whether or not we're going to get...
I forgot about that.
Yeah, whether or not well, I'm assuming we will, of course we will. We'll be getting a replacement.
Yeah, we'll have to get a new... If they need updating of any of the voice stuff, they have to redo the whole lot as well. Or find someone that can have a similar voice.
We had an event recently, and obviously he'd already done the voice acting. So his voice was on there, which wasn't avoidable. But
No.
Thankfully, I have mine in Japanese, so I don't have to listen to his voice.
Yeah.
But a lot of the other voice actors.
if you don't want to listen to a convict's voice, you just switch to a different language.
Yeah. Well,
try Spanish. I've heard it's not bad.
The voice actor, the English voice actor of Sino, is a streamer. He's like a VTuber, and he's Hispanic, so he speaks fluent Spanish. But he's a very popular VTuber, and he streams Genshin. And during this event, he was like, I'm going to mute it when his voice comes on, and I will do his voice instead. He does a very, very good Tainari voice, so I have no idea why they don't just hire him to do the voice as well, so he can do Sino and Tainari.
Yeah.
Because he'd be brilliant for that. He does a lot of anime voices as well. Like, he is a very well-established voice actor. I mean, one of the voice actors from Overwatch is a Genshin voice actor as well. You didn't know that?
No, they have pulled a lot of like anime and other voice actors. Isn't there some of the people from Critical Role in there as well?
I have no idea, but no, the voice of Zhongli is the voice of Torbjorn.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, it's just some of the Overwatch characters they pulled over.
For the last time, I'm Swedish.
He's Swedish, but he's not. I'm not sure he knows if Osmanthus wine tastes the same as he remembers. Yeah, the whole Osmanthus wine, that whole thing. I just like the Japanese voices of the Genshin characters better. Even the Chinese ones sound really good because that's obviously the native language.
The default,
They are very, very good, and a lot of people have said the Japanese voices are very superior because even when a Chinese company is promoting the game, they always put the English and Japanese voice actors. They're the ones. They're like, announcement, here are the voice actors, and it's the Japanese and English voice actors. They never say the Chinese ones or like the Korean ones or anything like that. It's always English and Japanese. So it seems to be, I mean, even the fact as well, that it's a Chinese game, the predominant is English and Japanese that people, play it in.
those are the two biggest markets because of Sony and Microsoft.
Well, it's actually a mobile game, so it wasn't even released on console to start with. It was mobile originally.
No, not to start with, but when they branched out, those were those two options, wasn't there? You go to PC, and then you go to Sony and Microsoft to get it on Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not on the Switch yet. Like, everyone keeps wanting it to be on the Switch.
Again, that's still Japanese.
It's on PlayStation, but I don't think it really matters. The predominant.
I think it's a tiny bit too powerful for the Switch. Just
no, if it's playable
playing
on
the game,
mobile, it'll be perfectly fine to play on the Switch. You
No,
can
because
play...
even Switch is just like an obsolete tablet, really, with controllers.
Don't say that about the Switch. The Switch is probably one of the best consoles I've ever owned. The
It's
fact
really
that
old.
it can run.
It needs an update.
It's going to run Breath of the Wild. It still runs Breath of the Wild really, really well, and it's going to run a new Tears of the Kingdom very shortly. So it's capable of it. I mean, it plays Pokemon Unite really, really well, and my phone plays Pokemon Unite really, really well. So it's capable of doing it. It would be able to do it if a really shitty phone that I know can run Genshin, the Switch can run Genshin. I just don't think they've managed to come up with an agreement with Nintendo to be able to put it on there, which is likely due to
Be microtransactions as well, because they don't do that very often.
Yeah, I was going to say they're not big on that type of thing. It is literally like, it is just the Primo Gems. It's paying for the wishes, really. I don't know many people that buy other in-game things. Like, the only things that I really buy are the Welkins, which is like, it's a Welkin moon, and it's 28 days, and every day it gives you 90 Primo Gems when you sign in. And then I get the Battle Pass at the end of the month, which is like $8.99 if you're not getting the one that's like plus 10 levels. But I reach level 50 by the end of the month anyway.
Yeah.
So I get all the normal Battle Pass stuff, and then when I pay the $8.99,
that seems to be a thing with all Battle
everything underneath
Passes.
as well.
You buy the Battle Pass, you get the extra missions, and you just finish it too quickly.
I'm happy to just, like, the Battle Pass one isn't
Which isn't
so
a bad thing,
in
but...
Genshin. It's actually quite a good Battle Pass in Genshin, because all it provides you with, really, are, like, every 10 levels you get a standard wish, and then you just get, like, level up materials, like, level up books, and more, so in-game currents, like money, to do stuff in the game with. And that's pretty much it. But you can complete it, and so get to level 50. And then when you buy the Battle Pass, you get all of the rewards up to then that are locked. And they include the premium wishes, but also you get like talent level up materials, and you also, every Battle Pass, you get one of the Battle Pass weapons, and you can choose which one you want. So you can have a sword, claymore, catalyst, bow, or polearm. So you can choose whichever one you want. That's why I've got, like, one of them's level 5, another one's like level 3. I think I stuck with the polearm to start with, and now I'm working on the bow, and now I got the sword to level 5 as well. So I'm just kind of working on those. So yeah, that's all I can really talk about for Genshin at the moment. I think I'm gonna leave you with that, because I didn't realize how late it was getting.
All right, no problem.
I thought I'd jump in and just give you a bit of Genshin information.
Yeah. Might as well wrap it up here, unless AdSea's got any other news he wants to share.
Not really.
No.
I mean, most of it was covered, and I wasn't looking into news much recently.
We covered most of it in the first half.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for watching. I would like to thank Legend, AdSea and SweetieSophie for joining us. What was that? Okay, that was the first podcast. Let us know in the comments how you think, and we will try and do this weekly with improvements as we go on. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.